Good evening, Doc Severson here for the ReadySetCrypto OMNIA trade of the day for Tuesday, the 1st of December. Starting out with Bitcoin versus the US dollar, yesterday I talked about the fact that even though we had a slingshot move up to new highs, approaching that overhead resistance at all-time highs, which is just below 20,000, a lot of people looking to either establish short positions and or take profits up there, either on the bounce or perhaps people that have been holding for a while. So I talked yesterday about the fact that we had a lot of energy on the daily chart, but the problem here is the weekly chart is in total exhaustion. So when you have a parent time frame which is in exhaustion and you have a child time frame that is fully charged, this time frame wants to go somewhere. But what if the weekly chart does not support further upside accumulation? Well, price has got to go somewhere. So to make them both happy, this is what happens. We get into this mode where the price contracts back again. Now, what we're also seeing here, and this is kind of interesting, is that we're seeing this megaphone pattern. So volatility is expanding right now. And this is all part of how a chart recharges at a larger time frame. So not only the weekly time frame, but if we even go out to the monthly, we're starting to see a slight problem here. We are in exhaustion on the monthly chart as we roll into the new month of December. I mean, look at this, the size of the move that we've had here is just about matched what we went through in 2017. Now, if we go out to the log chart, we can see it's a much different deal. This move from 2016 all the way into the end of 2017 was much, much bigger in percentage terms based on where it started from, since it started from about $200 or so up to 20,000. So this is just getting started. But as we know, price can't go continuously to the upside. It has to go in these zigzag formations. Range expansion moves to range contraction. This is an excellent time for the price to take a short break, maybe for a few weeks, consolidating up in this area. And maybe this is the time the price is going to rotate into other assets in the top 10. I don't think we're going to see altcoin and alt season just yet. Not just yet, until we get into a larger consolidation pattern. Now, we're seeing the same thing happen with Ethereum, but nowhere near as bad as Bitcoin. So this is just very normal market action. We're actually seeing Litecoin actually accumulate for the day. And notice what's happening with the daily and with the weekly energies that's still out there. So we can look at assets like Chainlink, and Chainlink does plenty of energy at the weekly chart, plenty of energy at the daily chart. So we may see rotation into these assets that do have an energy surplus for right now. If I go out to the altcoins that we track, yeah, they're up slightly. Nothing big though. This is not the explosion that we would expect to see from this. So even though they're up slightly, it's not that impressive yet. This is not yet alt season, guys. It's still top 10 market rally. So if you're looking for something to trade, go through these various coins and look for the ones that have an energy surplus. Like, for example, Ethereum is still not in weekly exhaustion, although it's very close to it. So we talked about the upper target for this being 640, and we're just about there. This was for the cup with handle pattern. So 640 was our upper target for that. Just about there, just about at exhaustion. So we may see Ethereum kind of slow down here for a little while. But again, the problem here is the daily chart is fully charged up and wants to go somewhere. So to me, I thought we'd still coast a little higher on Ethereum. We could look at assets like Ripple. So Ripple, the daily chart is still just kind of getting over this move that we had. Weekly is in exhaustion, so I wouldn't go after Ripple. Bitcoin Cash is not in exhaustion, not a great pattern, but there's no energy deficit here. So expect to see a few days of rotation. This may even go into a few weeks of rotation out of Bitcoin as it takes a well-deserved rest. I mean, what do we have? 8 straight weeks to the upside? That's awesome, right? This deserves a rest for at least 3 to 4 weeks, allow it to sustain for a much longer run. Again, this is what we want. We don't want this thing to just continuously go higher, create FOMO, get everybody to chase us, because that type of move has what's called a hairy back, right? So when we get into one of these runaway moves here, we always have a hairy back on the other side of it. What I would prefer to see is a nice linear move into consolidation, perhaps even a bear flag or bull flag in this case, and then a viable breakout once the energy has restored itself. That is it for today's report. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.